Yeah, welcome to another episode of Mrs. Z and Fifth with your host, Zacchaeus and the Fifth General. What's going on, y'all?
Hey, what's good? Good to be here. Good to be here. Very good to be here. Yeah, man. hmm
So, interesting topic tonight. For those who've seen, probably on YouTube spaces, anywhere in the manosphere, what we call the manosphere, on YouTube and social media, men in America are talking about pursuing and taking their talents to internationally and meeting eligible women, or I guess what they deem as eligible, as you know, dating choices, dating options. So, uh, for me, I guess the angle that we're going to go at is this: is it a solution, or is it just an option? Talk about the positives and the negatives, you know, because this is a very layered topic because a lot of this is new to some people. A lot of this is very old to a lot of people, and we'll get into that. So I'll say this, and I'm gonna let Zacchaeus get the mic. So I'm gonna lay down the foundation of where this all comes from, or at least from my understanding as being a 35-year-old man. I've heard all the time as a young kid, um, maybe not too young, but a particular age where I had understanding, and that is the term mail order bride. You know, where men would get women who were in Russian, some of those countries out there in the Russia area, Asian countries such as China or Vietnam or South Korea, Japan, um, men getting women out there from certain European, Euro Asia area countries like I just mentioned, Russia, Ukraine, and stuff like that. Germany, Sweden, maybe even England. You know, and also South American countries like Colombia, Brazil, you know, um, maybe it's, Central America, Latin America, Panama, right?
hmm
Um, so that's typically where you would hear men so called looking for quote unquote love, right? And those were usually assigned, those stereotypes were attributed to white men because not because white men are the only ones that are allowed to go out there, but it's just that white men of a certain financial class have the luxury and ability to go out there to these countries more than some black men. I mean, black people don't have money like that to travel abroad like that, you know, not when you got to maintain life here, you know. So typically it was older white men, 50s and up, 50 plus white men you would hear going out there getting women from Thailand and whatever, right? But then you go deep into that and then you realize these men were not out there looking for love. They was looking for sex. So they would go out there, true story. They would go out
hmm
there, they would get a woman. They would probably have a woman on call anytime they went out there. They have the number saved up. And, these women were prostitutes. Not all of them, but I'm saying that they were dealing with prostitutes, you know? Um, what you see now currently is an abundance of men in our culture, black men, being encouraged to, hey, try your luck over there because what you're meeting here is just not working for you, you know? And so that seems to be a conversation that people are having in this YouTube space or wherever. And so um, I heard about for many years Dominican Republic. Go to the DR. Go to DR. Cats was going out there to DR and getting prostitutes. Really, I mean, or cats ain't careful. They out there getting kids, having kids out there, getting these women pregnant. You out here getting prostitutes pregnant, marrying them, and you sending them money and you know, and then that same money that you giving them, they giving it to a pimp. I mean, it's just what you hear, And there's a lot of misconceptions. I think a lot of men feel like, well, we got the Americanized woman, westernized woman here. Um, So let me get a woman from a country that's downtrodden, down bad, and then she'll treat me like a king. That's a misconception because she want the same thing these women want here: provision and protection. You don't think you gonna get a? You don't think go- you could avoid a woman taking advantage of you or only wanting you for your money because she's overseas? It don't work like that. That going out there don't prevent that or stop that. Okay, so this is the opening of what we're gonna dive into the negatives and the positives because they're all positive things. When you're going out there and you're getting a wife and she's quality or whatever, that's positive. But then also, how do the women feel about this in this nation? How do the men out there in those nations feel about American men going out there and getting their women? You think they are happy about that? No. You think they're not going to protect that? No. Okay, then. And then, secondly, everywhere in the world is here in America in this sense. Almost every race, culture, ethnicity is in this country. How come you couldn't just get that woman that's here already? You know, you got women who are from uh, many places, you know, and they've come here. You couldn't get them? We'll talk about that. Zacchaeus, how would you like to start this off?
Well, let me break it down. That was a good point. The last point, one of the last points you brought up was very good. All the points you brought up was good, and they were all good, man. But I've run into men that's over 50 years old that is experienced with dating women outside of the U.S. I meet them online, and through my conversations with them, I hear that the reason why they don't want to date the Filipino women here in America because they feel that they're already Americanized already. They're already well Americanized. They already know what it is in America. They already know what the how the living is when it comes to rich and poor. They already know how it is. They already know. They're already well seasoned. So and they pick up their. So when they come here, some men want to keep them overseas because when they come here, or they want to bring them here sometime. But when they come here, the men feel that, well, damn, you're so Americanized that I can't even talk to you. You're not even submissive the way I like you to be submissive. You're not even because you change. They feel that they change once they step foot in the U.S. soil or they step foot in the British soil, step foot in the Amsterdam for. They feel that the women in the Philippines or the women in the Thailand and in Dominican Republic, they feel that they change because they feel that, well, it's easier for me to go there to meet you because at least you won't give me problems. A lot of these men, some of these men, they were married already had the kids, grown kids already. They already have grown kids. Some men are in their mid to late 60s, and they already been through the marriage life in America. They already have their homes already, and and for a long period of time they were divorced. So maybe 10 years later, yeah, 10 years later, now they're meeting their 10 years later, being divorced. Now they're finally gonna meet somebody that they can have fun with, or that's how they look at it. They're gonna finally meet somebody they can have fun with, finally meet somebody that is gonna not deal with the nitty gritties of the American or the British attitude. That argumentative. I a lot of men, when they're older, they want to have that peace element to their life. They don't want to deal with the headaches of arguments, fussiness, and that's how they really feel. I speak to some of these guys, and that's how they really feel. They feel that dealing with they've been married before. A lot of them been married before. Most of them I speak, well, actually all of them that I speak to been married before, and they feel that it's a different experience when you date somebody or you meet somebody online from the Philippines, or you meet somebody online from the Dominican Republic. It's a really different experience. And some brothers that are like, oh, 50 plus been like saying, listen, I'm gonna try this thing out, man, because listen, here's a cute Filipino woman that's probably like 28, 27. She has her kids, and she's interested in me. That's the biggest deal. She's interested in me, and she knows I'm living in the US, and she knows I have money, and she knows that I can take care of her. Because face it, if you go to the Philippines, you go to certain places, some of the living conditions is rough. Not all over the Philippines, but a lot of the living, especially in Dominican Republic, a lot of the living conditions is rough and it's poor. So then when they have the US dollar goes a long way in those countries, a very long way. If you go online and look at the currency, the USD compared to the Filipino money, and you go in the Dominican money, the US dollar goes a long way.
Yeah, they
Even
both
the
share.
pound.
So they both share the peso, but they have a different grade of peso. So that would be what the
Right.
two countries have in common. Go ahead.
Right. Yeah. If you go to like the British men, the English pound worth a lot of money in the Caribbean. Oh, it's worth a lot. So when they meet them, it's like they feel that, well, the women in those countries feel that, well, he could take care of me because he's in a country where he can take care of me, and he could supply my needs, the needs that I have living in the Philippines. And they could some they got some men that really relocate. They actually marry, and they relocate. They leave the U.S., or they have a dual citizenship. They have a U.S. citizenship, and they have a
So
um
let's unpack that
yeah, yeah.
because I think it's different when a man
Hmm.
now moves there and now wants to start a whole new life. At that point,
Yeah.
his dating circle has changed, so he has no
Oh
choice.
yeah.
So he has no choice but to go out there and date the women of his now physical field. That's his
Hmm.
algorithm, right?
Yeah.
So that's
Hmm.
different. That's very different what we're talking about. But we'll get to that. If you're a man,
Hmm.
because we'll talk about men here, not women. We'll get to women another
Hmm.
time. If you're a
Hmm.
man and you've moved to, let's say, Colombia,
Hmm.
you've that's where you are. That's where you're going to be, maybe for life, or you're going to be out there for like 2 to 4 years. What you supposed to just stay
Hmm.
single? No, I'm not saying that. But what
Yeah.
I'm saying is, for a man who doesn't move out there, I want him to understand that his idea of going out there to find a woman is a bad idea. No, you go out there because there's things that you need to do for your life. And as time goes on, yes, you meet a woman, but you do not relocate to a whole nother country for the sake of meeting a woman. I just don't. I can't do that one. Okay. You know why? Because if you are somebody who has a lot of issues in America with how you are as a in your relationship, that you had issues here, it's just something that's in you, your character. That's not going to change when you go over there. That's actually going to amplify because now you went out there. You're like this insecure guy. You're just going to be an insecure American in Colombia. That doesn't
Ooh.
change, right? And if you haven't studied the culture out there, that's another thing. When you move to a whole other country, you need to know their culture and their customs. You have to know their language. You have to know for things that are safe and unsafe. So you're basically like a newborn baby learning how to walk. You don't know everything. You know some things, but your American experience is not going to be the same as the Colombian experience. So then you go out there and you try to date those women out there. You don't know all of everything. So then now you're having these difficulties there. So that doesn't solve the issue. Fix you first. I'm gonna tell you why I say this, Zacchaeus. I think a lot of men mask their pain by leaving.
Wow.
Speak more about that.
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. A lot of men, especially when they're older, a lot of us are setting. A lot of older men are setting their ways,
Hmm.
and sometimes they don't want to face certain things that and I'm gonna be honest with you. Sometimes the women that they've been married to for a long time, kind of expose things that they don't really want to expose, as far as like their attitude, as far as like that's why they get divorced, because they're like, I'm not changing for
Yeah,
you. I'm
yeah,
Listen, we argue every day. We
yeah,
argue a lot. We argue a lot, and you want me to do what?
yeah.
You listen. You're not cooking my meals. You're not. You're not giving me sex every week
Hmm.
or every day.
Hmm.
You're not. You're not cook. And they want their
Yeah,
wives to do that.
right.
But you see, the thing is, the wives make money.
Yeah,
The wives is either they're making money or they're struggling with you.
yeah,
So sometimes the wives are more like independent,
right.
and when it comes to while the women have independence, okay, they come, and if they have independence, they're not gonna take some of your nonsense. Am I right, Fifth?
Yeah.
They ain't gonna. Your wife is not gonna take. Well, you want me to give you a hot cooked meal every? I mean, some women do it, but you're not gonna get my bath water ready. You're not gonna um clean after you. You want me to clean up after you? Wait a minute.
Yeah,
And even when it comes to finances too, and that's a lot of these ideas with the men too, because they feel like, well, I feel like I'm not making any. See, if I go out there, my money will stretch far, but I'm here. My money's not gonna stretch far. So I'm making I have my pension,
well,
because
it
we're talking about
depends on
older
the
men now.
let's put this in
Yeah,
context though. It depends on
yeah,
it depends on the country.
yeah,
So
yeah.
so
Because
so because there are certain countries where our currency does not go far at all because the dollar,
London,
the American, yes,
London,
right, exactly. The American dollar has been devalued.
and
Japan too.
Amsterdam,
Japan too.
and
Japan too.
Japan too. Yeah,
Yeah. So
Japan too. Yeah,
it depends on the country. But now go ahead,
yeah.
continue.
So let's say, okay, for example, like the Philippines. What's the US dollar, USD dollar just far? The Philippines and Dominican, let's say Dominican Republic,
Hmm.
where your US dollar is worth up quite a bit,
Yeah.
and they and some women are submissive, and they like the comfortability of a man sending them money, making sure that everything is taken care of, making sure that their kids eat, making sure that they eat, making sure that certain things are covered. Now, once you're here, and you have a wife, and let's say you're 50 something years old, or plus, and you're with your wife, but you and your wife just bicker, you're arguing, you're bickering, you're arguing, you're fussiness, and sometimes you just can't take it, because and a lot of it too, because I mean, as far as like, oh, she makes more than me, and a lot of older men don't like that. You know, say my wife is making more than me, or she has this attitude where, listen, you may be the man, but my money match your money, and I'm not gonna be putting up with that nonsense for you. So a lot of the older men want to get away with that, get away from that attitude, that kind of mentality. That, damn, because you have to understand that a lot of older men want a woman a lot of them, not a lot, but I will say some, the ones I speak to, want a woman that's more easygoing, that they can talk to, easygoing, not gonna give them. Fifth, get this. Oh, I ran into a guy that's 60 years old. He said, these women here, here in these 5 boroughs here in the U.S. in New York City, Houston, and they give me a headache, and I can't take it anymore. Maybe I'd be do better off if I did deal with a woman overseas. I can't take it anymore.
So
I can't take it anymore. There's too much arguments.
Let's chop this up. So we got to break some of this stuff down. You know,
Okay.
this is like a pot of gumbo. So we got to separate. We got to separate the crab meat from the okra.
Okay.
There's a lot in this pot. So let's take some ingredients out. So you mentioned I want to get to something you mentioned. You mentioned dealing with a woman who's more easygoing, and this goes for all ages, not just older men.
Right.
So you mean to tell me we live a country with how many states? Like 50? 52?
states, yes.
I don't know, man. Whatever. My geometry, my geography is off right now. Sorry. People are gonna come at me pretty badly. You know, so you got the mainland states, and then you got Alaska, you got Hawaii, and then you have our U.S. territories such as Guam, Puerto Rico, the U.S. Virgin Islands, right? You mean to tell me out of all of them places, that 60-something-year-old man who I take it lives in New York, probably never even left Brooklyn. you mean to tell me he knows how every woman thinks in this nation? He's traveled the nation. He's left the East Coast at least. Left Brooklyn at least. You know, I think one of the things that, and I'm gonna say this about my New Yorkers, man. I could say this.
Yeah, you can say it.
And this didn't happen for me until I left New York, right? New York can be somewhat of a prison too, mentally, and I'll explain. Because it gives you a false sense of knowing what the rest of the world is, because most of the world wants to come to this city. So you think you got every makeup of every understanding when you don't. You leave the city, New York City, that is, the 5 boroughs, and then you get to other places, then you realize that there are different behavioral elements that men and women have outside of New York. You will find that socially, some people are a little more reserved, might be a little more welcoming than people from New York. You know what I'm saying? He might find, quote unquote, more submissive women, right? I guess to the level that he wants outside of New York. What I notice about New York, and I'm sorry, ladies, but a lot of women from New York are masculine. Not all of y'all, but a lot of women from New York have masculine energy. They do. They call you son. They call you know what I'm saying? You know, their armpits is. Some of these women got armpits mustier than y'all men. You know what I'm saying?
Oh man,
they got they got Timbs, and they got and their socks smell like corn chips. I get it. It's confusing some of y'all. I get it. It's confusing some of y'all. So a lot of y'all think every woman is supposed to be like that.
Right.
I love women from New York. I mean, I'm not saying that. I mean, my mother and our families are from New York. I'm not trying to say all women. What I'm trying to say is a lot of men deal with hood chicks from New York and think that's all women. That's not true. There are very feminine women from New York. They're very feminine women in this nation. That's the point that I'm trying to make. You have to leave your 4 corners. You get comfortable in that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you have to leave your corner. This world is 4 corners or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Just figuratively speaking. Leave your corner. You leave your corner, you will experience different women. I have, and they are not all the same. Now, are there things that they have in common? Does a typical woman have things in common with a woman from everywhere? Absolutely. And I've dated women who are not, well, a woman, let me be correct, who's not from this country. Okay? Not to put her business out there respectfully, but she has things that are much in common with the American woman. It's just how it is. I mean, most women are going to want, like I said, provision and protection. You're not beating that.
Mm-hmm.
If you get a woman who's from a country where they eat mud cookies and they haven't worn a pair of shoes until they was 15, that don't mean she don't want a man with money. I think
Right.
some men think a woman who's from the most poorest and destitute countries or more and live in squalor. I think they think and assume that they're more humble, and that's why they could take the little bit of bread that they got and impress them. No, she want a
Right.
Fendi
Right.
bag just like Tasha from her down the street. She want a
Mm.
she want a Mercedes Maybach just like Tiana from California. Don't get it
Mm.
confused.
Right.
So what I'm
Right.
saying is, brothers, because we black men, everybody else, I can't speak on y'all. Y'all got your own conversation. Black men, increase who you are and better who you are first. And then I really believe that you will find a woman who can fit your plan right here. If you are a cat who's lame in New York, you're gonna be a lame cat in the Philippines. Since you mentioned the Philippines, you're gonna be a lame cat in DR. That's why I said earlier, I think a lot of men do that because they're trying to mask an insecurity. They ain't got no game. You know, they don't know how to talk to a woman socially. They don't know how to Mac. They need Mac
But they feel
lessons.
that they feel that they can talk and they have more in common with people that's out of the U.S.
But
But that's not.
how
But that's
so
not.
though?
But the only reason why I say that they tell it and they express that because they feel that they can. And I'm gonna just say it true. I feel that they feel that there's more. They have more to, I guess, impress them with. Because
Mm-hmm.
remember,
Like I said,
the U.S. dollar go further. The U.S. dollar go further in the Philippines and in the Dominican Republic,
and Thailand and places
it
like that.
and Thailand and like that. You know,
Yeah.
it can go far, and not
Yeah.
only it can
Now
go far,
don't you,
they feel, but they also have to mention
okay.
too the submissive attitude of the women that they're attracted. Some men, these men are attracted to submissiveness. They're attracted to that. She rubs my head. She cooks great. She
Right.
cooks great.
Right.
She rubs my head. She makes me feel good.
But
She
what
makes me
happens
feel
when
like
the
a man.
but what happens when the money stops? This is what
Then
I'm gonna give it back to you, but I want you to chop
okay.
this up
Mm-hmm.
because the money goes far.
Mm-hmm.
Men, you may study them, but the women are also studying you. I think a lot of brothers need to get that straight. They know your money goes further.
Mm-hmm.
We did a episode. I forgot what show we did it on, and we talked about the green card hustle.
Oh,
You think those women
yeah,
out there
yeah,
don't
yeah.
know that?
Oh, they know that. They wear that.
Women
Yeah.
overseas are lining up a lot of fools and these simps out here. You a simp in America, you're gonna be a simp out there. They're lining them up. They know their money goes further, depending on the country it is. Let's give an example: Thailand.
Right.
A woman knows your money goes further. She
Mm-hmm.
will submit to the if she does submit, then she's submitting to the provision at hand. But
Mm-hmm.
does she really want you? The reason why I say this is because, you know, if you get with a girl who's been with you when y'all had to ride the bus and get on the train together, then more than likely that woman is rocking with you for you. Because she really don't have to do that. She's standing in the cold with you, freezing.
Yeah. Yes.
Waiting,
Yes.
waiting for the 42 or the 63 to pick you up. My name is Staten Island trains. I mean Staten Island buses.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like she waiting on. I feel like, and usually those women are from your environment. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's the woman
Mhm.
who's riding with you.
Yes.
Okay, the woman that you meet when you don't have nothing is very different from the woman that you meet when you have something.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now a woman overseas never got a chance to experience you like that. So how do you know
Right.
she's even with you like that? Go ahead, I'm giving back to you, Zacchaeus.
Also, one thing I don't agree with is and I'm gonna just mention this: sending your money. You didn't even you meet her online. There's one thing to meet her online, but you're sending your money, half your check, most of your money to her off the back. She whispers sweet nothings when you know she tells you, you meet her, you Zoom her, or you meet her online, the chat online, and you Zoom and you or however you do it, and um and then you tell her, because you tell her, you compliment her several times. Yeah, you're beautiful, you're beautiful, you're beautiful, you're beautiful, and then when y'all converse, you stay for hours conversing with her, and then next thing you know, you say, you know what, I'm gonna send you if you're okay, and then she tells you what she needs and what she's in lack of, and then you say, you know what, I'll send you $600 US, or I'll send you $700, $800 US. Would that be okay for you? And then she says, well, yeah. And then as time goes on, you keep sending money to her. She's used to you sending the money to her. She's used to you sending money to her. So you make it a habit, and she makes it a habit. And of course, she's gonna tell you that she loves you. Of course, she's gonna tell you that. And you haven't even went out to the country yet. You haven't even you don't even know too much about the culture. All you just know is that she's beautiful. She tells you things that you want to hear, and you just like in awe. I mean, yes, she is about maybe 30 years younger than you. She's 30 years younger than you, but you cannot get enough of her beauty. And it's not. And a lot of older men, they did not, maybe some mid to older guys fall into that, and they're like, well, I could send you something. I could send you something to help you out because, listen, we're gonna get together, and maybe sometime in the future I'll get there. I'll get there, but I would even love for you to come up here. You tell us something, and I heard men say tell their women that I would love for you to come up here. I'll take care of you. I'll take care of you. I'll just keep sending you some money so you can be okay in your living. Take care of your kids. Take care of your kids. Take care of yourself. So forth like that. Hey, Fifth, what do you think about that? Sending money to women that you haven't even physically met yet, but you're just
Uh,
sending money to her.
I'm against that 110%. Because wait,
Oh
hold on,
wow, okay,
Did you say something
yeah,
about kids? Did I just hear that correctly?
yeah, kids, yeah,
You wait,
yeah.
her
You
kids
can
or kids you got with her?
no her kids,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
I'm against that 110%. All right. I know a situation where that has happened with a man, and I don't want that man to get upset with me, but I'm not gonna say your name. I'm not. Uh this brother got with this woman in the DR. Goes out there a lot. Okay. I won't get into the details of whatever, but goes to the DR. Um, had fun out there, and DR is a nice place. It doesn't have to be all about the stereotypes. You can go out there, okay. Um, you gotta be careful though. Good looking woman from top to bottom, and I mean the very
Mm.
top to the very bottom. Okay, and she goes, "Hey, hey, daddy, or hey, poppy, whatever it's in Spanish." And then, she's probably giving you a little show. She might send you a pic of that thing, you know? And you get a little mesmerized, you know what I'm saying? You
Yeah.
know? And when you travel out there, you might even meet her. You just met her. Then all of a sudden, you go back home and then she tells you, hey, by the way, I got 4 kids. And can I borrow $100? What did I say, Zacchaeus? You may study them, but they study you. They know
They
that
study
the
you.
American
Yes.
dollar goes a
Yes.
little further. $100 can
Yes.
do a lot of
Yes.
things in the Dominican Republic.
Mm-hmm.
Can it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So $100 doesn't sound like a lot here.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's more than $20. $100,
Yeah.
sending $100 a month to the DR can buy
Um,
can buy you some things out there. It's not gonna buy you a car,
oh
but
yeah.
you'll definitely have. I would guess you'll have food on the table. You know,
Yes, for
$100
sure.
you
For
can
sure.
stretch that
Yeah.
out.
For sure.
Yeah, you can stretch it out. So and it continuously happens.
Mm-hmm.
Then you go out there, and now she lets you know about these 4 kids she got by different men, probably 4 different men. Who knows? You done spent all that. You're getting what you're getting, but you're being hustled. So if that's the understanding that you're okay with, hey, by all means, at your own discretion. But the thing is, what's being promoted? Okay, what's being promoted on the grand scheme of things when it comes to men going overseas? Are they going overseas to look for sex? Because you can get that here in the nation. Or are they going overseas for love? If they're going overseas for love, then no. Avoid prostitution at all costs. There are men that are going out there getting these women from these countries, Vietnam. I've heard the stories, and they get these mail order brides. Do you know the women that come to them are ex whores? These women were in brothels. They was busting it wide open for men, being sex trafficked.
Lord have his mercy.
Being sex trafficked and everything. This is some real stuff. And these men have no idea what they brought back to this country.
Lord.
They brought back a history. I'm gonna tell you something that's very sad. A man went out there, got a woman from Ukraine. He married her, did everything right, got her hair papers right. You know, she had people looking for her. She changed, yeah, she had a different identity there. Them people who came looking for her came here, killed her and him. There you have it. See, this is why you got to do not go out there for the sake of finding a woman. Do not do that. Get your life right. Put you first in that situation when you're single. And then when it's time, do it. That's why I made a distinction between the men who go out there looking for butt, the men who go out there looking for wives, and the men who have left the country and now have a different residence. And now they live out there and then they date. So let's talk about this stubbornness, man. You know, a lot of men, like you said, stuck in their ways, right? Guess what? There are women. There are women overseas who are stuck in their ways. And secondly, say you wanted a woman who is, this is a melting pot of a nation. Even in Houston, where I live now, but definitely New York, right? There are plenty of Dominican women, Chinese women, Vietnamese women, whatever, South American, like Colombian women, Brazilians. There are plenty of those that live in this nation already. Probably ain't been here for about a year or two. We have this thing called Americanized. I get it, Westernized. A lot of these things that we call Westernized, a lot of them are European first. Let's not forget who came here to this nation. They were Europeans, right?
That came to the U.S.
That came here. So you don't think some of that
the
stuff,
Mayflower,
right? So I think people forget that stuff is over there too. And secondly, those men over there are not telling. This is what some of those men are doing. They have their qualms about the women over there too. Okay? They think that their women are not submissive either. You have men who are from Canada, England, come to America. You think they got the same attitude as some of these cats getting women over there and saying they're more submissive? Those men are coming over here and telling American men you're dead wrong. They ain't no different. Some may be, but a lot of them are not. What do you think those men have to say about these men going over there and getting their women? And secondly, well, not secondly, and lastly, and I'm going to give the mic back to you, they're going to want to protect what they have if what they have is sacred and valuable. They're not going to let you just come over there and just get their women. They'll let you get the women that they don't want. That's what it is. Speak to that, Zacchaeus.
Well, it's true. They have men in in those countries, like the Philippines, Dominican Republic, and others too. Other countries too, that they're not gonna give up their beautiful women just so because because you're showing a few little dollars, you're like a sugar daddy. They're not gonna do that. And most of these guys, most of these guys, older gentlemen that seek some of these women, they usually run after the older. They usually run after these women that have like few kids, have like 4 or 5 kids, have like they're in the poorest they're in the poorest conditions, and they have independence. They run after them, and some of these women, for some apparent reason, they get online. I don't know how they get online, but they get online, and they seek after these men. They seek after these men that are like older. They look like you could take care of me. How old are you again? Oh, bro, I'm 57. Oh, look like he could take care of me. Oh, okay. Can you send me money? Can you send me some money? Can you send me some money, Papi? Can you send me some money? And he's like, oh yeah, sure. Oh sure. I said, oh, how much do you need? You're so beautiful. Oh my gosh, you're so beautiful. How much do you need? Sends her whatever money he has. Sends them money, and he made him, And but the thing is that they're not so. All they see is because remember, a lot of these older men, and fifth, let's face it, some of us don't get compliments. A lot of us don't get compliments here. I mean, as far as compliments,
I get where you're going.
The woman's gonna, the woman's gonna. She's not gonna pick up after me. She's not gonna rub me and tell me how handsome I am. She's not gonna tell me how do I look nice today, and all these compliments and all these. She's not gonna, but the woman there is gonna do it for me. She's gonna do it for me. Yeah, she maybe have 4 or 5 kids. She maybe have 4, but she's not. And the women, they tell them too. And some of these women have men. They do. You think their men are not? Their men are not in the country. How you think they got the kids? I mean, they do have their men around, but they look to you as a sugar daddy to send them some moolah because they know that you're good for it. You got it. And I'm sure some men are aware of that, but you know what it is that they have the urge of like, man, I need a woman in my. I just have to have.
But
this.
see,
It's
the
not
problem
like
is
having the feel of a woman, man, and
Zacchaeus,
having her tell that she. Yeah.
Zacchaeus, I'm gonna give this back to you. Not to cut you off. I just want to give you some more material. The
Okay.
moment
Go ahead.
you send $1, you'll send 1,000. This is why you can't start with that stuff. Because they'll come up with stories. Oh, my light's about to get cut off. My baby need diapers. My kids are hungry. I had to starve so that I could get. Yo, the hustling never stops. They're better hustlers than women here because what did you just say? They start complimenting a guy, saying he handsome, beautiful, whatever, good looking. And a lot of that is game. Game. Listen, if it's genuine, I support it.
Yeah.
But what countries are these men going to? Let's talk about black men, because I'm black, you black, so this matters to us, and I'm pretty sure our audience is mostly black. These brothers, are they getting other black women of the diaspora, or are they dating out, and what I mean interracially? So they're not only international, but they're interracial. What's your opinion?
Yes. Yeah. The interracial. It's no black women. I mean, black men that are doing they're doing the online dating. As far as like going overseas and meeting the nice, beautiful Filipino woman or Dominican woman, or they well, Dominican is black too. I always say Dominican
For
is
the
black,
most part, yeah.
but for the most part, yeah. So, let's say the Philippines or Asian diaspora, or
Like
like
they're
the
not going to
Thailand and
Africa. Like
Philippines.
they're not getting women from Ghana and
They're not doing that.
Nigeria
No, 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 no,
and
no.
South
They're not doing
Africa.
that. No,
Okay, why not?
no, they're
Why
not
not?
doing that.
Why
No.
not? Why not?
The reason why they're not doing that, because they feel that in certain, because they're identical to the black women here. They're not only identical to the black women. A lot of women in certain countries in Africa, like let's say for example, Nigeria or Kenya, the women there have money. The women there are not gonna, and the women there, or South Africa, the women there are not gonna take the nonsense that you pull it, that, oh, rub my head. You want me to clean? You want me to do what? Clean after what? No, not saying that they don't have submissive women in Nigeria and Kenya. They do.
Yeah, because
They
I was
do.
I was
But
gonna say,
they do have them. There are a
bec-
lot of them. They do. They have a
yeah,
different, and they have a
okay,
different attitude too, as far as like how you should treat a man.
okay,
They have that.
because the reason why I said it is
Yeah.
because you have African women, you have women from Africa who have moved here, and they encourage swirling, going getting white men, so they're submissive to them.
Yeah. See.
See, but
Yeah.
but there's the submissive, selective submissiveness though. Go ahead, Zach.
Yes. Yeah, there is selective submissive. Fifth is right. There is selective submissive though, because what they'll do for a Caucasian gentleman,
Mm-hmm.
they won't do for a brother.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
You'll have a Caucasian male, older male, like maybe in his 50s. He might see a woman in Kenya or Ethiopia and be like, she's beautiful. I'll date her. She's good looking. And they'll
I
bend
ain't
over
gonna
back.
front. Those some
Yeah.
those some good looking women out there in Ethiopia, man. I ain't gonna hold
Yes.
you.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna hold you.
And they'll be like, "Oh my gosh, man! You know what? South African. I'll go with you one day."
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, yeah, and they'll say, "You know what?
Zacchaeus, can you hear
I'm
me?
going overseas."
Can you hear me?
Hmm?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you good. Yes.
Okay, we had very bad technical difficulty. It resulted in me stopping the video, but I had to start recording again. So I need you to repeat what you said about probably go back about a good couple sentences because I think people miss what you had to say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's what I said
you were
before
talking
that.
you were talking about we were talking about all these black men going overseas and getting getting other black women from other countries where black women congregate and are from. And you was
No,
yeah, so I wanted you to talk about that again.
no. You have to. Well, like I said before, not to say that women from Kenya, women from Nigeria are not submissive, because they respect their men, and they love their men. They respect them and they love them.
Right.
But they're not gonna take you with your set in your ways attitude, as far as like, oh, I want you to rub my head, I want you to do pick up things after me, I want you to do, they're not gonna do that. South African women, Nigerian women, Kenyan women are not gonna, they they have certain things that they're just not gonna do,
Right.
they're just not gonna do it. They're just not gonna do it. And sometimes, and some brothers, Fev, this is the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Some brothers feel more attracted to women of non-African, you know, they're not attracted to African women, period. Nor the diaspora.
Okay.
They're just not, or could they feel like, well, I do better with an Asian, or I do better with a And yeah, I hear brothers say that. I know I'll do better with an Asian, or I'll do better with a woman of a different ethnicity. And I hear that. They say that. They say they just feel that their attitude wise, as far as like character and the chemistry, is better with a foreign woman.
Yeah, but that woman has to want you back too. And here's the thing:
Yeah.
you're talking about some stuff that makes a lot of sense, but understand that black men need to understand this: is that you need to know what the world thinks about you before you travel the world. You already know what this nation thinks about you. How you're treated is what they think about you. We talked about the other episode about how the media gets a lot of negative stuff about black men and these African countries and Caribbean countries. When they come here, they talk a lot of crap. That's going to be the case over there too. One of the things that I realize is that a lot of brothers will get attention in a lot of these countries because two things they want to know. If you're over here, you got to have money because we barely see black people here. I'm talking about the countries that don't really have black people, like Philippines and and Thailand and European countries, Sweden, Germany, and
Yeah.
stuff like that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
South Korea. So they're gonna ask you, hey, are you a musician? Are you a ball player? Are you a teacher? What are
Hmm.
you? Because there's a reason why you're out here. And then secondly, how do you know that these women are sexually attracted to you? And then if they are, you could be their what you call their sexual desire, but they don't want you as a husband. So don't get that twisted either. Okay. And then really what it is, I think the excuse is, yeah, we're gonna get a woman overseas, but really they just want a white woman. That's really what they will. I think a lot of brothers just want a white woman. So they'll just think, well, the white woman here ain't rocking with me. Let me get with the white women over there. I want to tell brothers right now, it's not that hard to get a white woman. It's just not. Okay? It's just not. And I'm not saying that to say that white women are easy. What I'm saying is this country is full of white women. I'm sure you can find a white woman that you can rock with. You know what I'm saying? So I think when these cats talk about dating internationally, pay attention to the countries that they say they want to go to date women. And you will find that a lot of brothers are picking some European countries or they're picking Asian countries because they probably saw that movie Memoirs of a Geisha and think that all
Mm.
Asian women are submissive like that. You know,
Right. Right.
but
Right.
here's the
Right.
thing:
Right.
we saw a movie that we know of called Coming to America. Now
Hmm.
it was a fictional part of Africa, but when the woman said, "I like whatever you like," and then he said, "Bark like a dog. Now hop on one leg." That's what I think a lot of these brothers think they're gonna get when they go overseas, and that is not the
That's
case
yeah. That's in their mind
in their
because
mind.
because you see the things is that they feel that and this is across they feel that the American women give them attitude. They're confrontational. They're confrontational. And they're fussy. They're argumentative. They don't give them peace. All these things they have in their head that, oh wow, when I go to a foreign land and foreign women, I'm not gonna have no more headaches, no arguments, no fussiness. We're gonna be living in peace and harmony, and it's great. And listen, all and you said it earlier on the show. Um, almost all ages of men want that. Unless
Yeah,
some men, but I guess I have to correct that because some people do live for drama. I have to say some people do live, but that's a different show.
right.
That's a
Those are not the
different
men we're talking.
show.
Right, those are
That's
not
a
the men we're
different
talking about.
show.
We're talking about men with intention.
Yeah, but the intentions of the men that date, the intentions of the men that want to go overseas, that's the mentality that they have. That they, when if we date somebody overseas, you're gonna have a less of a head. You're gonna have it's gonna be different. Okay, I believe it's gonna be different. It is gonna be different, different experience. It's gonna be a different experience. But don't think it's gonna be just peaches and cream because you have to admit that listen, Fifth, if you connect with some people overseas, as far as like the Philippines and maybe certain parts of Nigeria, a lot of people are hustlers, man. A lot of people got game, and that's what a lot of these guys don't understand, that there's a lot of game out there,
Yeah.
and they know how to manipulate
Yep.
and make you feel good. So,
Yep.
but and they know how to manipulate, make you feel good. Do you know that? Do you know? So many stories I hear about men sending money to to certain parts of these countries, and they're sending money to the women that are beautiful, but yet these women have men already.
Yo, that's ego though. So a lot of people here, right, or whatever country you're from, when you go to a different country, your personal ego thinks that they can't get you, that they can't trick you, that they can't scam you. Or
Right.
I'm from America. I've seen all the scams. Or I'm from England. I've seen all the scams. They can't get me. They can't possibly get me. And then you get got.
Mm.
Yeah, not so fun, huh?
Scary
Yeah.
because some places they could set you up. You go there flaunting about how much money I have, and she going telling. This is the scary part. This is the scary part.
I know
Because
you've heard stories of brothers going places and coming up missing.
yes, this is the scary part. And I've heard a story that I can. This podcast would be a 4-hour podcast or a 5-hour 4-hour podcast. If I tell you the stories I know about people that meet other people that saying they're coming to the airport,
Mm-hmm.
and you've been sending money to this girl for the longest time, but finally
and everything.
you bought the ticket, and then now you're going there, and now this guy is taking you picking you up from the airport, and now he's taking you to the village, and then you get surrounded by the people in her village, and then you take it to some remote land, some remote area. You could remember you don't speak the language, you didn't do your homework.
Okay.
It's always good to know it's always good to speak some language. It's always good to know. It's always good to know I mean, not know the whole land, but know where you're going.
You need to know it. You
and
know something.
and just do a little bit of, just do some homework before you get there.
Yeah.
What you're getting into, which areas are do your home, just Google it. What areas are dangerous there, and walk with a this right now. There's apps, and there's certain things that you can learn a little bit of the language before you get there. Just don't go there not knowing nothing, because you're meeting a beautiful girl. Because when you get got, you get got. And when I mean got, I mean not in a nice way. Because they know you have money, they'll set you up. Lovely. Because she'll be bait. She'll use you as she'll be like, she'll say, "Oh, he's coming." And then next thing you know, her husband is the guy that she's really with is there. And guess what? All that money's coming out your pocket. And then they're gonna go hold you hostage, and then they threaten you to ask you for more. And say you can't go home. We got you now. No, get more money. Cause we need that. I heard the stories in YouTube where a guy he was sending money to this girl all the time, strangely talking to her, got along with her, sending money to her, sending a numerous amount of money to her. Oh, do you know he was sending money to her whole village to feed some people in the village, sending money, which is a good thing. Nothing but I guess he was sending money. But when he got there, it was a wicked thing that happened to him. They beat him up, and they asked him for his to swindle some money out of his account so it could feed the rest of the people that was there.
See,
because they were desperate. So you go into a place, you not doing your homework, and you're going just blindly because she has beauty, but you wanted to have the adventure, not knowing. little not knowing that. Wait a minute, but I'm looking around. There's people here that's from the Philippines and in the
Yeah,
U.S. and there's
yeah,
and just staying in. There's people like you're right earlier today because there's people that just stay in the four corners of the place where they live.
right.
But sometimes you gotta travel. You gotta travel out of your city
Yep.
because there's people that you travel out of your city and you travel out of your city and you never know who you're gonna meet. You never know who you're
No.
gonna run into. You never know who you can gel with. You can go online and you can meet people that's, let's say for example, you live in Brooklyn, New York,
Hmm.
and you say you heard about girls in Atlanta, but you're not really too sure.
Right.
But you meet somebody that live in Atlanta.
In
You meet
Atlanta.
somebody online that live in Atlanta, and you're like,
Yeah, yeah,
wow, she was really nice. She's
yeah,
really
yeah,
wow. She live in Georgia, and
yeah.
I really can. You speak. It's easy because you speak both the same. She just have a little
She's
accent, but
got
you
an
speak the
accent.
same
That's all.
language.
Accents is different. This
That's
one.
all. It's different. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're like, wait a minute. And you meet her, and the next thing you know, you're like, I'm gonna go out there, and I'm gonna meet her. Nobody's holding you up in an airport in Atlanta. Nobody's
You would hope not.
You will hope not. No,
Yeah,
you will hope not. You will hope not. I mean, shoot. Yeah, you will hope not. There's nobody hold you up.
yeah.
But my thing is this though. I will tell people this. I will tell the men this. Don't be so quick to send money. Don't be so quick to be so gullible and just spend time with if you're serious about her.
Most
What you
men. I'm gonna give it right back to you.
okay,
Because we're
okay.
kind of
Hmm.
getting towards the end of the program. Most
Yeah.
most men who overseas seek, I notice a lot of them lead with their wallet. I don't encourage that. You know
Hmm.
how they tell you never feed a stray cat in your residence because they'll bring back other cats and let them know where the
Hmm.
food is?
Yes.
That's exactly what your example was of the guy who sent money and then he didn't realize he was providing for the whole village and the village surrounded on him and hustled him and swindled him, dang near kidnapped him because they want that money train to keep coming because
Yes.
he led with his money.
Yes.
Some people may encourage men with the money to lead with their wallet. I don't.
Hmm. Right.
So that's the downfall. Back to you, Zacchaeus.
Yeah, I would encourage you to be mindful of that.
Yeah.
Don't be so quick to send money. Spend if you're gonna like I was speaking to a gentleman, older guy, 60 years old, just turned 60 years old, and he said he's gonna marry somebody from Brazil. Now he been going out there for the past. He told me 8 years. I think about 8 years. He been going out there for the past 8 years. And he's going to and but when he was going out there, this is a difference. He was learning to speak Portuguese. He already know how to speak Spanish because in some part of Brazil they speak Spanish too. But he was learning how to speak Portuguese, and he knows how to because you've been going out there for the past 8 years. It's different because now he um he speaks fluent Portuguese, fluent, fluent in Portuguese. He speaks fluent Portuguese, and now he's gonna marry. He's actually gonna relocate to Brazil. He's gonna marry her, which is a smarter. He didn't just lean with his money. He got to study the culture.
Hmm.
He got to study the diaspora. He even knows the cities in Brazil. You see the difference?
Yeah, he did his due
Now
diligence. Yeah.
he did his due diligence. Now if you're gonna go out to the Philippines and you don't do your due diligence and you're just gonna just go just to go or you're just gonna just keep sending her money
Hmm.
for the first time you meet her. Oh, you speak for like she makes you feel nice. You speak for like an hour or so, but now all of a sudden now you're leaning with your money. Now you're like, well, how much do you need? And then you send her money. Then she's gonna always be used to you sending you that money. Of course, she's gonna tell you that she love you because you're sending her hundreds of dollars.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course you're gonna say that. What else you wanted to say? So and then, but you got to, you could go out there, but just make sure you do your homework. Don't just keep sending money all the time. So that's my last take on that. Yeah,
All
man.
right.
Yes.
Yo, good talk, man.
Yeah, man.
This is not to discourage anybody who wants to seriously date and pursue with attention a woman who's not from this country, America.
Mm-hmm.
It's to at least teach you that do your own work. Don't let some cat tell you go over there, it's better over there, and you ain't been over there, and then you get hustled because he's not going to be there. He who or she who's encouraging that is not going to be there for you when you jammed up. See, there's a
No.
lot of people telling people what to do, but they're not guiding them. I want you to use your common sense. Some men, they don't. A lot of us men do not want to be alone. I never met a man who says he want to be seriously like alone. And men will do the necessary work. A man who doesn't want to be alone will do the necessary work to prevent that. But be safe.
Yeah, be safe. Yeah.
Be very safe, man. Be safe here. Okay?
Right.
Because that can happen to you here. Cats getting hustled, asking for money. Man, I know what's going on. I had a woman try to ask me for money. I'm like, man, no. Nah. I'm good on that.
Yeah, because see, the thing is, they make it people make things a habit. You send them 100, 200, then they keep coming back and you keep sending them 200, 300. It's like, listen.
Don't go, man. You got to know if a woman's down for you, man. That's why I give the example of the man who had a woman with him who's been with him from the very beginning. She been with this brother when all he had was a Metro card. I'm talking about New York now. Or any other place where there's public transit where you don't have a car. She been cold winter. It's like 30 degrees outside, and she rocking with you.
Wow.
30 degrees outside, cold, 20 degrees.
Wow.
And she waiting on the bus with you. You don't even have a car. Why she with you? Got to be a reason why she with you. You know what I'm saying? So there are women who are down for you, man. Down for you. She may need a little guidance on how to talk to a man, and and like I said, put out that femininity more and really tap into her feminine energy. And you, as a black man, get more of that masculine energy, get that guidance from brothers who have masculine. You know what I'm saying? But she's loyal though. Loyal. Loyalty is God. Loyalty comes from God. It does.
Yes.
And it ain't gonna be no loyalty if you ain't got God in you. You know what I'm saying? So you a woman who is loyal is a rare gem. Now she got to have other qualities. I get it.
Yes.
But a woman who's with you when you don't have much should be the woman that's a keeper, right? Because she should be the woman that's still rocking with you when you have more. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Anyway.
Yes.
Any last words? I'm done. I don't have no more to say. Any last words?
Yeah, you know what? I want that could be another topic for another day, man. She rock you. A good woman. Got to talk about the good women now.
Loyalty. Yeah. From the beginning.
Loyalty. Yeah, man. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So the last words I have, man, is men, just be careful out there, man, and just don't be quick to lean with your money. Get to know her. Get to build with her. Get to know her. Get to know where she's coming from. Get to know her. Don't just quick to be throwing dollars so quickly. And even here in the U.S. too, got some women that they have money. You don't need to be leaning your money towards them. They got money, But just be charismatic. Be show you more character. Be so humble, and be simple and be yourself. Yeah, man. So that's my last words. Yeah.
All right, y'all. Another episode of Mrs. Ian Fifth. Zacchaeus, let them know where they can reach you, bro.
You can reach me at on Instagram on Zacchaeus Music, on Instagram, also on Facebook, Wayne Backus Wayne Backus 167 on Facebook. Also, you can reach me on Twitter, yes, at Wayne Backus 2 on Twitter. Check me out, y'all. Yeah,
Y'all
man.
can reach me at the Fifth General, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. All right, y'all. This was another good episode of Mrs. Z and Fifth. We'll see y'all next time. Peace.
Peace.
All right.
Peace, y'all.